You're born somewhere in the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia, maybe Sudan. Your mother names you after a prayer. Your father names you after a storm. She has dreams of you becoming a merchant. He has dreams of you becoming a great warrior. Too bad none of them saw it coming. You are 10 when the raiders come. They burn your village. You watch your uncle die trying to fight with a farming hoe. You see your mom being dragged away. You didn't see your father that night, but you believe he's not doing so well. Raiders say you're too small to carry water, too old to be cute. So they take you. You walk, for weeks, maybe months, through scrub, desert, and swamp. You eat insects, drink from hoof prints. You sleep beside corpses. The weak are left for the vultures. You stop asking names. No one survives long enough to need one. Eventually, you reach Cairo. You think the suffering's over. It isn't. The raiders sell you to a man who doesn't smile. He takes you not to a palace, but a village in Upper Egypt. A place that smells like sweat, goats, and dried blood. You hear screams at night. You learn new words. Shaving, bamboo tube, sand burial. Words that don't concern you. Until it's your turn. No anesthesia, no mercy. The priest chains you down and slices. Not just the man-sack, everything. They stick a reed up your urethra so it doesn't close. Then they bury you in sand up to your neck so you don't move. You bake there under the sun like meat in an oven, praying to die. Most boys do. Your reward? Infection, fever, the smell of piss that never leaves. Your body forever broken before it had a chance to grow. You'll never father a child. You'll never feel desire. You'll never be whole again. They perfume your wounds. They call you clean. But nothing about what's been done to you is clean. Not your hands, not your soul, not the empire waiting ahead. You are taken to Topkapi Palace where the Sultan lives. 15 of you started the journey. Only 7 survived the journey from Cairo. Congratulations, you were among them. And all of you, ragged, trembling, half-healed, have been chosen for the same fate. Palace eunuchs. So, what's a eunuch, you ask? Well, you are a man who isn't quite a man, who will be tasked to guard the Sultan harems. And since you've been treated, you are expected to not have any desires for the Sultan's beautiful women. You're shaved, bathed, and renamed. Not by choice, but because you stink. Now, you're Hyacinth, or Velvet Blossom. Something soft and floral and mocking. They brand you with irony. After all, what else projects strength and peace smells like flower names? You are 12 years old now. The other kids in the palace are older, bigger, meaner. You learn quickly. Silence is survival. You speak only when spoken to, and even then, softly. The white eunuchs patrol the Enderun, the school for pages in the palace. The black eunuchs, like you, are sent to the harem gates. That's the law. They say it's about protocol, but everyone knows it's about race. After all, if there was someone who escaped the treatment, a single slip-up with a concubine will be obvious, like a black ink on a white canvas. You're not allowed inside yet. Your job is to bow, hold keys, use perfume when you leak, deliver messages, smile and watch. Always watch. The palace is its own language. Perfume, hierarchy, silk, deception. Every glance is calculated, every step rehearsed. You learn to read people the way scholars read scripture. At night, your body betrays you. The bladder doesn't hold. The catheter slips. You wake the next morning soaked in shame and lavender. You clean yourself. You use perfume again. No one helps. You still think of home sometimes. You still think of escaping too. But then you remember that one boy that tried to run. He was caught. He was never seen again. So you stay. Because even in this golden prison, there's a promise of power. You watch concubines argue behind fans. You see princes cry after beatings. You see the Sultan's mother break a vizier with a single look. You see the chief eunuch enter, and everyone else lower their gaze. That could be you. Not a man, not even quite human, but something rarer. Trusted. You learn how the guards rotate, how the gifts are counted, how the girls are selected for the Sultan's bed. Your mouth says nothing, but your mind records everything. Although you are not free, you are necessary. And in top copy, that's the first kind of power that matters. You're in your 20s now. You're no longer standing outside the harem. You run it. The old head eunuch is dead, choked on melon or poisoned by mistake. No one's sure. You did your homework, wormed your way into his inner circle, became his assistant. His silk robes barely cool before they're handed to you. You accept them without smiling. Now, girls curtsy, guards bow, viziers send you notes, half pleas, half bribes. The Sultan's mother begins every sentence with your name. You don't speak unless necessary, but when you do, it lands like scripture. Everything should be perfect. You now have power. Your body, though, rebels. You leak during ceremonies. You sneeze and soak the Divian cushion. You wear darker silks to hide it. They call it the eunuch stench, a perfume of piss, rosewater, and authority. You try cloves? You try incense? It doesn't matter. The stink follows you. And now it means something. It means, don't cross him. You manage the movements of 300 concubines and 200 eunuchs. You schedule prince circumcisions and oversee bridal parades. You organize tulip festivals and quietly order drownings. The body bags? You sew them shut yourself. Whisper a prayer, then log their names in the velvet ledger. You never touch, never linger. You see them naked and forget them the same night. Sometimes the Sultan asks for advice on food, on war, on which girl seems ripe. You answer. You always answer. Because you're the only one who knows which concubines are ovulating, which pages are stealing, and which viziers cry alone in the baths. You're the architect of secrecy, the keeper of bloom and blood. You were once property, flesh without future. Now you are indispensable. Not loved, not honored, but obeyed. And in top copy palace, that's better. You're in your 30s now, and the palace is your labyrinth. Every corridor whispers your name. Every silk door parts at your approach. You command the harem, but your true dominion is the unspoken. Favors, secrets, leverage. You're rich. Absurdly so. You own spice routes, textile workshops, coffee stalls. Couriers hand you satchels of gold like prayer offerings. And yet, none of it is truly yours. At any moment, the Sultan can seize everything, even your breath. You don't sleep. Not really. You drift in shallow pools of rest, always alert for footsteps outside your chamber. The pillows are stuffed with lavender. You still wake in a sweat. The Sultan's mother smiles wider these days. Too wide. She knows you've grown essential, powerful, but dangerous. And for her, that's unacceptable. After all, to her, you'll always be a slave. So you become careful. Because one poisoned cup, one slip, could be the end. So you never drink unless your food taster survives the first bite. And then, there's the girl. Not the most beautiful concubine, but clever. Quick with riddles. Once she made you laugh, She shouldn't have. Now you watch her too long. You assign her lighter duties. Better silk. Her smile lingers longer than it should. Someone notices. They always notice. Someone tells the Grand Vizier. He jokes that your ghost must still haunt the harem halls at night. Later, a eunuch under you vanishes. No body, no explanation. You promote a new one. Quieter, hungrier, more loyal. One that won't mouth off to the Grand Vizier. Still, the concubine is reassigned to her outer duties. You don't argue, you nod. She bows before leaving. She never returns. And you? You say nothing. Otherwise, you'd both never see sunlight again. You continue with your routine. You pour rose water over your hands. You inspect gifts. You seal another scroll with the Sultan's stamp. You're not a man. Not a monster. Just the blade that moves before the scream. And the leash that glitters like jewelry. You're in your 40s now. Your name is no longer your name. They call you Velvet Jasmine in whispers. The hand behind the veil. The Shadow Father. None of it feels real. None of it touches you. You walk the halls like an omen now. Doors open before you knock. Couriers rise before you speak. When you whisper, ministers sweat. When you blink, someone is reassigned. You don't raise your voice. Your silence is a weapon sharper than any blade. Even the Sultan hesitates around you. Not surprising, since he's old now. He had always been a weak man, relying on someone to make decisions for him. And with his mother no longer around to keep you in check, he takes your word as truth. But power this perfect comes at a cost. You no longer remember how to speak without calculation. Every phrase is a test, every compliment a transaction. Your laughs are measured, your gaze never lingers. You're surrounded by beauty, singers, dancers, poets. And yet, you touch none of it. You are the only ghost who casts a shadow. At night, the concubines still giggle behind their fans. But when they pass your chambers, they bow. Some fear you. Others pity you. None truly see you. You sleep on lavender-scented sheets beside no one. You eat alone. You bathe in rose oil to cover the smell of rot that clings to you. Old wounds, urine, and the price of perfection. Your silver catheter gleams under your robe like a cruel metal. Your body betrays you more each year. Bones ache. Your skin grows soft and your chest rounder. Your voice, once clear, is now thin and reedy. You look in the mirror and see not a man, not a woman, but a monument carved from compromise. And yet, no one dares challenge you. You control the concubines, the princes, the royal calendar, the supply routes, the secret letters. You are the gates between desire and dynasty, and you are utterly, violently alone. You never hear the dagger coming. Not literally. The weapon they use is far sharper. Reform. The empire's changing. Fast. Too fast. The old sultan is dead, and a new sultan, barely old enough to grow a beard, promises progress. Western suits replace silk robes. French advisors whisper behind Ottoman curtains. Parliament opens. The harem shrinks. And you? You are now a relic. That's what they call you. Not to your face, of course. Never that. To your face, they still bow. Still kiss your ring. But behind closed doors, your power is bleeding out. The new ministers want your ledgers. Your private guards are disbanded. The concubines are dismissed or married off like surplus livestock. The palace echoes with a silence you don't recognize. A silence without secrets, without fear. They take your authority in slices. First the seal, then the schedule, then your room near the Sultan's. You are moved to a smaller chamber. No garden, no fan bearer, no door guards. You know it's coming. And yet you stay. You still walk the halls, more shadow than man. Still smile with half your mouth. Still reek of incense and antiseptic. You've seen a sultan fall, viziers executed, rebellions crushed. You think you'll outlast this too. But they don't kill you. They retire you. A quiet ceremony. A new eunuch steps into your seat. His robe is too clean, his voice too eager. He calls you honored elder. You don't correct him. They sent you back to Cairo, where it all began with a pension and a warehouse full of memories. Servants bow as you pass, but no one listens anymore. Your letters go unanswered. The empire moves on without you. You wonder if your village is still there. How did your father live? Your mother? Then you realize, in the most heart-wrenching way possible, you've always been alone. And for the first time since you bled beneath desert stars, you feel it. Not pain, not powerlessness, but something worse. Obsolence.